All praise, glory, and honor is most certainly due to the Most High Elohim of the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I want to say peace to you in the name of His Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, who we know as Jesus the Christ. It's always a blessing each and every single time that I can come before you to bring a message contained in His Word, and never do I count it as a light thing to do so. In today's message, I want to talk about something that, quite frankly, has been on my mind for about a week. And that is the respect that we should show church leadership. And what has spawned this message is the disrespect that I have seen on social media in regard to Brother Boy, the Israel of God, who I look at as an elder. There's no question that this man has done a tremendous work in Israel in the modern era. There's no question that he is to be respected as an elder. There's no question that he has done a tremendous work for going on with 50 years. And so when I see people disrespecting him on the internet, people who have done no work, who have made no sacrifices, who don't have an inkling of the knowledge that he has, but they have something to say, it really hurts my heart, and I'm taken aback. And again, let me just say this: I'm the pastor at the Household of Faith. I have no organizational affiliation. We have no organizational affiliation with any other congregation. We understand we are all a part of the Lord's church. But I feel compelled to say something because there are so many. I mean, it kept coming up on my feed. Like, again, I don't watch other teachers. I don't watch other pastors. I'm too busy trying to teach myself and learn myself and grow myself. So I'm not watching other people, but I felt compelled, and I sat on this about a week. I was actually going to say something in the Sabbath service that we just had, and what I was going to say was, I better not hear anybody in here disparaging this man. And that is, something that I wouldn't normally do. I see a lot of things that go on and I don't say anything. But when I saw this, and I saw literally hundreds and hundreds of comments talking about what he's saying is trash. First of all, what he said, he had the right to say it in his position of authority. And it's not like the man was telling you that you need to go sin. That's not what he was saying at all. But because so many people don't want to follow authority, that's something embedded in humans, and that's certainly embedded in us as a people. Look at our past. We consistently go against the leadership that we have. We, in the modern era today, are at a position to where we don't have leadership, but he is certainly a leader amongst our people. Now, you may not agree, again, with everything that he has to say. You don't have to agree. Who agrees with everything somebody has to say? But he certainly is in a position of authority to say it, and you're not in a position of authority, and you're certainly not in a position to disparage this man, who is an elder. I don't understand well, I do understand it, because you don't understand what's in the book. How do you disparage this man, who has worked for, again, going for 50 years? How do you disparage him? How do you speak against him when he has done a tremendous work? Again, we're not affiliated with anybody else. But what I did want to make a comment against all those who are speaking against him online. Maybe he may not respond. Maybe he said, this is beneath me to respond. Farewell, maybe. But it's just been on my mind. I'm like, I don't believe, because so many people, there's thousands upon thousands of people who have benefited from his work in the vineyard. For all the people that are speaking that haven't done anything, why are you talking about him in this way? Let's look at the Bible and see what it says, and then maybe perhaps you can reconsider. This social media has been a blessing, but it has also been a curse, because people think that they could just speak. What you need to do is do more listening. What you need to do is engage in some silence. But now this is Acts, the 20th chapter, in verse 28. Notice what it says here in Acts of the Apostles. Paul said, take heed therefore unto yourselves, and to all the flock over the which the Holy Ghost hath made you overseers, to feed the church of God, which he hath purchased with his own blood. So what do you have? You have certain people that he has put in a position to do what? To lead the people. Are you saying he haven't been doing that for decades and decades? That's not the case. He certainly has been doing this for decades and decades. You really cannot put a like, if you tried to pay him, because the issue, people had something to say what he said about tithes and all, and people don't really understand tithes. The ones that are speaking, they don't understand tithes. You don't even understand, quite frankly, your offerings. How do I know that? Because if you look at the first century church, in many cases, they were doing more than the tenth. But is he one that's been about somebody? I saw somebody call him money hungry. That's not the case. But I'll get to that. 1 Timothy 5 and verse 17. What does it say here? Because what I see is disrespect, but what does the Bible say should be going on? It says, let the elders that rule be accounted worthy of double honor. I'm going to start that again. Let the elders, who he certainly is an elder, that rule well, he certainly has been doing that. It said, be counted worthy of double honor. So why all the disparagement? You can't say that he hasn't been ruling well. It said, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. Listen, most of the doctrine that develops, particularly early on, and that was dispersed, that people know that are in the truth. I'm talking about in the truth. Because a lot of these Israelites, see, you got a lot of Israelites that call themselves Israelites, and they have terrible doctrine. They have, in many cases, damnable doctrine. But you can't say that about him. And again, you may not agree with everything that he says. But in this case, you just need to be quiet. He said, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. He certainly has labored in the word and doctrine and teaching. And really, you don't understand what he had to go through to get the understanding that he has. How do I know that? Because trying to acquire understanding myself. You know how many hours and hours and hours and years that he's taken to understand this book? Is he 100% correct? I ask the question, who is? But certainly, he has been working in the ministry, trying to do that which is right. And he's worthy of somebody. He's somebody that you should be showing some respect. Like I said, we are not affiliated with anybody. But I know for a fact that so many people that are talking have benefited from his labor. Let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews, the 13th chapter. And I also know that the people are talking don't understand the book. Hebrews, the 13th chapter and verse 17. What does he tell you? He says, obey them that have the rule over you. And people will hear that and they may be taken aback by that. Rule over me? Yes. Your church leadership is in a position of authority. You want to worry about a president, a senator, a representative, the police, but then when it comes to spiritual matters, you want to disrespect the man of the Most High that he sent to lead you. You need to be mindful of that. And that's why when people, even people, they will come from other places, man, people do this all the time. They will call me on the phone, on our church line, or they would come in person. I've had to tell people, I asked them, who is your teacher? Oh, well, such and such. I said, I know that individual's teaching you right. Go to that person. Because that's who you up under. I had one case, somebody called, he called and said, you know, he asked a question. I said, who is your teacher? Well, such and such. I said, that's who you need to be talking to. Then saw him in person. He gonna ask, I said, didn't I talk to you on the phone? Yeah. I said, what did I tell you then? I need to talk to my teacher. I said, that's what you need to do. And then called again. Or you have people that will call from and those are from congregations I know are teaching the truth. Then you got other congregations. I'm like, listen, who is your teacher? But there are men that are in authority. He said, obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. That's what he's been doing. That's what Brother Bowie's been doing for years. It says, as they that must give an account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. And understand, he's going to have to give an account. Right? For the things that he's done. For how he's been walking, how he's been operating in his position. He's going to have to give an account. Every man of the Most High will have to give an account, just like these people will have to give an account. But if you talk about a man that has been for years and years and years teaching, I know I've benefited from his labor in the vineyard. I can remember coming into work. I got boxes and boxes and boxes stacked to the ceiling of cassette tapes. When I'm first trying to understand, I'm in college trying to understand the word, I'm listening to the tape. Now, I've never been a member of the Israel of God, but I've benefited from his labor, like so many other people. Why not we, but I'm saying as a collective, why you have so many of us disrespecting him? And somebody need to quite frankly check y'all, because you're not in a position to talk about him. You haven't done anything. 1 Thessalonians 5 in verse 12. He said, and we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you. Certainly he's labored. And are over you in the Lord. Again, somebody's ruling over you. See, our people don't want any correction. They don't want anybody to be authority. And that's why we're in the situation we're in now. We don't understand order. You on your job, you'll do what they say. But then, when church leadership, now you got a problem. He says, and we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you. You see that? And are over you and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. See, for the work that he's done alone, you should be honoring him. That doesn't mean you agree with everything he said. But just for that alone, like I said, man, you can't even pay him for what he's done. If you sit there and say, well, I'm going to give you some money for what you've done, you don't have enough money. Because what he's dealing with is how you gain salvation. Again, is everything correct? Is everything... That's not even the issue. The issue is, you certainly know he's trying. You certainly know he's not trying to send you to hell. You certainly know he's walked the path. You certainly know he's been leading multitudes. Why are y'all disrespecting this man? Y'all need to, quite frankly, shut up. Last place, 1 Peter. And people may have a problem with what I'm saying. You know, yeah, hopefully you understand. If you've ever watched this page, you know I don't care. 1 Peter 5, I know certain men need respect. 1 Peter 5, and let's pick it up at verse 1. It said, the elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Now this is Peter. He says, feed the flock of God which is among you. That same thing was told to him. Where the Lord tell him, feed my lambs, feed my sheep. He's exhorting the elders. He said, feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof. And he said something, not by constraint, but willingly. Not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. So it can't be about money that you're trying to lead people. And I saw somebody say, yeah, he worried about money. Unless something has changed, and again, I don't watch, I don't know, but I can remember early on, growing, for those years, I understand he consistently said he didn't take a salary. He didn't take a salary, and you talking about the man, but you got all these false prophets that are all worried about your money. They do some and everything. Nobody says anything. And this man, who haven't been money hungry, who I heard him say years ago with my own ears that in order to keep the church early on, he had to take a second mortgage. What sacrifice have you made? And to deal with a people like us, who at every turn are constantly pushing against authority. And then people talking about he mean. How is he mean? You may not like what he said, but is it the truth? And how do you? That's why you gotta have a head like adamant, like Flint, dealing with our people. You can't be pussyfooting with our people. They'll run over you. So he's stern. So what? He in a position to where he can be stern. He's in a position to where he can say something. Why? Because he is in a position of authority. Spiritual leadership. And certainly, if we got an elder, amongst our people, certainly he is one of them. So with that, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you to shut up. Okay? You don't have to agree with everything, but shut up. That's what you need to do, quite frankly. And with that, I want to remind you that we're at the Household of Faith, who are not affiliated with anybody. We meet every Sabbath at 5925 West 25th Avenue in Gary, Indiana at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We live stream right here on the Israel Teach YouTube channel. As well, our Virginia congregation meets every Sabbath at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Red Roof Inn, 153 Garrisonville Road in Stafford, Virginia. And with that, respect your elders. I thank you for your time.